Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
Good evening, and welcome to our broadcast. April just loves the music, so she's just continue to play it. So that's all right.
I do enjoy the background music. I do enjoy it.
It's good, yeah. It's nice. It's nice music. So April, I know you had a good holiday. I know you all indulged with some very, very tasty food, I'm sure. And Brother Kendrick is probably known is going to be eating a lot of good stuff. But wish everybody well. I know you had a good one. I know you had a good holiday, as well as we did. April, as the promotion. Oh, good evening to our audience. Okay, thank you all for joining us this evening. And we couldn't wait to get this author on to talk about something that I guess has been, I can't say forgotten, but I'm sure, I'm willing to almost bet that most of us, of our viewing audience, never heard of this particular person, and we should, at least for our children. Anyway, we're talking about Mr. John Masco, a shipbuilder, and the author of that book. It's called From Slavery to Shipwright. So, but before we get into that, we looked at, and we were kind of prepping for a what they call Giving Tuesday, and I think we have someone that could really talk about Giving Tuesday, and we're certainly supporting it. And hopefully, after you all listen to what our guest has to say about that, you can have the heart of giving and making sure that Tuesday is a special Tuesday. Just Tuesday after Thanksgiving. That was explained to me. So anyway, April, could I forward this over to you? Could you take us a little further on that?
Okay, Brother Edward, no problem. First, we welcome all of our guests, new and returning. And if you will, please drop your comments or questions in the chat. We'd love for you to engage in the conversations with both of our special guests. As Brother Edward said, today is Giving Tuesday. And what better way to give than to support education? And so we have with us today someone who is definitely not new to education, doing phenomenal work with the probably one of the few local charter schools in Horry County, and a very special charter school at that, the Academy of Hope. We have Ms. Dolores Rozier, who is the chair of the board for the Academy of Hope, and she's going to talk about some great things that are happening in terms of your opportunities to give to the Academy of Hope. We have a great lineup of information tonight, including how you can give, and then also we will kick it over to Steve Williams to kind of give us a little history lesson, as Brother Edward says. So sit back, enjoy, actually get your phones ready and your checkbooks and all of that good stuff, because we want you to give, okay? We really want you to wrap your mind around the importance of giving to education, and nobody can actually expound upon that better than Ms. Rozier. So, Ms. Rozier, thank you for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Good evening, and I appreciate being here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And so, Ms. Rozier, as we said, it is Giving Tuesday, and we are imploring everyone to support education by giving to the Academy of Hope. So let's start with just talking a little bit about why it's important, first of all, to support education, and then we can get into the specifics of the importance of supporting the Academy of Hope.
It's fitting tonight that the second guest is going to be sharing his book and the title of his book. And when we think about education, especially those of us who are from historical Horry County, and we think of all that has gone into us in terms of formal and informal education, I can't think of a better day and a better time than to ask the community to help and support the Academy of Hope. We are truly a different kind of program at the Academy in that we have very small classes. We have incredible staff out there. And when I say staff, I mean everyone from the person who meets you or greets you at the door to the person who takes the children to the bus in the afternoon, including the bus drivers. So it is truly a family. And the other thing I would say about giving to education is this. We, over the last 6 weeks, have been told that we really need to think about how we target and spend our money. And we do. We need to think about where we put our dollars, how we place our dollars, and who we give it to. Who better than children to give some monies to? I've always said that sometimes when we ask people for money and to participate and assist us, we sometimes go too far. I believe that anything is good. So for the person who can give us $5, we appreciate it. The person who can send us $1, we appreciate it. If you can send us 10,000, we appreciate that too. We know that there are folks in all categories, and we know that most people in Horry County do appreciate quality education for its students. We want our children to begin to think about remaining in Horry County. We've talked about that a lot. And so some of the things that we're doing out there, we hope will assist them in making that decision. We now have seen what happens when kids leave the Academy of Hope and go into high school. We have a track record of success from everything from students who have gone into the military. Some students have started their families and are working very hard. And we have a track record of higher education with our first year's students who have gone to college now graduating. So that is truly a success story. We're very proud of that. And I happen to be one of the people who was really part of that with a young man. So we have seen what happens. We need everything at the Academy, everything from supplies to, things for teachers. The teachers need support. Oftentimes, because we are a public charter, and I say that, public, we don't charge students to come to the Academy of Hope. It is a free public charter school. And so when you give, you're giving directly to support those students at the Academy. Of course, I know, April, you and Mr. McQueen also know that we have a very high level of poverty rate of students at the Academy. Somewhere between 80 to 85% of our students are poverty-based. That has nothing to do with whether these children can learn and how they learn. And the Academy, we dismiss that, is that, we understand that poverty plays a part because when children can't eat or children don't have certain things, we understand that learning can be impaired. However, that has nothing to do with their ability to learn. And these students are learning. Not only are they learning, they're making us proud in the community with their behavior and their character. That's a major function of the school, is helping the students to build character, to become good citizens, and understand citizenship as we know it in this country. And so I would say on this Giving Tuesday, we appreciate any support, monetary support that anyone can give us. And we're also looking for volunteers. We need volunteers. We need people who have 1 hour or 2 or 3 hours or 5 hours of their time a week to come out to the school and be supported. You'll love it out there with the kids. I'm just telling you, you will love these children. I can't get away from them. First of all, when you walk in, they remember you. They know your name. They know that you've been there. And when you don't come and show up for things at the academy, guess what? They let you know that too, Mr. Lawrence. You were supposed to be at this affair and we didn't see you. Or same with Miss April. So we want you, this is Giving Tuesday. We want you to spend your dollars where it matters and where it counts. Also, we appreciate every dollar that you give us. We have a high level of accountability at the Academy when it comes to finances and financial affairs. And I also want to take this time as part of Giving Tuesday to thank IGA, the local grocer here in town, for partnering with Bethlehem Church over the Thanksgiving holidays to make sure that not only families were fed, but that they provided enough food for 60 individual families. And so we thank IGA for the support that they gave. And there are so many others that have already given. And I'm here to say tonight, thank you so much. And we know that in the next 5 days, donations are going to pour into the Academy of Hope. Whatever you have to give, we appreciate. Come visit the school.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ms. April.
No, I was going to say, you can tell that Mr. Lawrence is very passionate about the Academy and wants the community to be engaged. And she's so proud of the students, and for very good reason. Mr. Lawrence, I have a couple of pictures that I'd like to share. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what the community has seen in these pictures. So you mentioned Thanksgiving. Was this the Thanksgiving dinner here?
This was the Thanksgiving dinner. We had the Thanksgiving dinner. I was not there, but that is the Thanksgiving dinner, and the parents were invited to attend with the students. Most times when we have any kind of an official meeting, we make every attempt to have some kind of food or some part of a social builder with the child. So this is all part of the total student, working with the total student and having the parents be engaged with the school. And so, yes, that was the Thanksgiving program.
Okay. And then we also had, looks like an award ceremony going on here.
We had the award ceremony in November. And what I paid attention to, and I always pay attention to, are the number of students from one quarter to the next who are getting awards, those who are really leveling up, especially as it pertains to their math scores, their character building and all of that. And there are so many students who are able to improve from one quarter to another. And if you follow them, you can really see that they are moving in a very positive direction. The school is really preparing them for high school.
Yes, and so I have another photo here of see the families and smiling faces for the Thanksgiving. It looks like it was a wonderful celebration. And you're right, this is a unique offering as they prepare for high school and beyond. And so one of the ways that the school has also been working on getting resources and drumming up donations is to have the students, their parents, and the rest of the community involved. So right now there is a shoe drive going on. Mr. Lawrence, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I am the representative tonight of the 8th grade. The teacher, by the way, tonight is Ms. McCrae. She would have been here, but she's at a Girl Scouts meeting tonight. Right. And so I'm here for them. They are the 8th graders who will graduate next year and move on to high school are having a shoe drive. And this shoe drive is not the shoes are not for students at the academy. The shoe drive is a drive that is an international drive. So the students are not only learning about giving to others and working to make sure that other children who don't have shoes, but they're also learning about those countries where those things are needed. And so this shoe drive is underway now. We need all of your support. We need all kinds of shoes and sizes. Right now, we need about 70 bags of old shoes between now and the 15th of December. And we have, just so that you don't have to drive all the way out to the academy if you don't want to do that. We have a drop-off point December 6th and 13th at the Conway Rec Center. The teachers will be there to pick up the shoes. If you drop the shoes by the rec from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. to support this program. And again, we need all kinds of shoes. Just as long as they don't have too many holes in them and no loose soles. But now everyone that's watching this know that you have a closet full of shoes that you don't wear. Y'all know that. Y'all know
any kind of shoe.
So you know, if I come to your house, I can go in your closet and get those shoes. So put those shoes in a bag and take them over to the Academy of Hope or drop them off December 6th or December 13th at the Conway Rec Center and give them to Mr. Johnson or Ms. McCrae for the students. This, by the way, is to sponsor their 8th grade trip. All of the 8th graders, before they leave the Academy of Hope, are able to go on a trip. There have been several years when the students have actually gone to Washington, D.C. and stayed from 3 to 5 days. They've also gone to Charleston, South Carolina. The issue for us is to really help them experience as many things as they can before they go to high school. And so this shoe drive will enable them to do some of that. The class will receive money for sending these shoes to the international group that gathers shoes to send overseas for students. And so the shoes don't have to be new. We're not talking about new shoes. If you'd like to bring new shoes, fine. But we are not talking about new shoes. We're talking about those shoes in your closet that you don't wear. We need them.
Dolores, I think that's a very, very worthy endeavor. You said you need 70 bags.
The total.
Did I say that correctly? But you have 70 bags to fill up. That was just right. Yes. That's what you're implying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They need 70 more bags. They have some, but they need 70 more bags in order to get what they need to do for the class trip to receive the money. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds good.
And I just wish some of you could see the 8th graders. They've had several sales, and I'm sure you'll hear about another one. I don't know if I'll be able to come on again, but they'll probably have another bake sale. And I want to give credit to those 8th graders. I watched them use their work that they have done in math to set up their cash register, to be able to count the monies. I watched them as they interacted with customers who are buying the baked goods. They made their posters and their signs, so they contributed to their own marketing campaign. There are just so many skills that they're learning that are needed in today's world. And so we would appreciate you all helping us to get these bags of shoes that we need. The final date for the shoes is December 15th, and you can also drop them off at the school.
Ms. Dolores, if you will, for just a second, will you talk about the monthly board meetings that take place for the Academy of Hope and how the public is invited to attend?
Yes, I will. And thank you for asking that question. We have monthly board meetings. Those monthly board meetings are published. They are published, first of all, and posted at the school. Secondly, they are published and posted on our Facebook page And our meetings are actually live streamed, so that if you are unable to come and appear in person at the school or wherever we're having the meetings, you are able to get a link. We have a link, and you can join the board meetings. Normally, what we do at the beginning of the board meetings is have guests introduce themselves. And the only time that you would not be able to be part of the actual meeting would be if we had to go in executive session. And of course, that's because when you have confidential matters that you need to discuss, you move into executive session. But those meetings are posted. Those dates are given way before time, so that and we are live streamed, as the state of South Carolina is now requesting that all of our academies and our charter schools have some form of live streaming. We started live streaming as soon as COVID came about. And so we've not stopped that. So we have in person, if you'd like to attend in person, or if you'd like to participate online.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Loris, we certainly do appreciate you being here to talk about the goodness that is the Academy of Hope. And it's Giving Tuesday, everybody. So we want you to feel the spirit of the holidays and give to this wonderful educational institution. You can give online if you'd like. I know a lot of people like to just grab their phones and tap in a few numbers and send it on its way. So donations are accepted via Zelle. And you can use the Academy's email address at donations@theacademyofhope.org. Or if you're old school, like Brother Edward, if you're old school, you can mail in a check. You can mail a check to the Academy. Attention, Dr. Melissa McLeod. And here's the address on the screen, 3521 Jennifer Bay Road, Conway, South Carolina. Either way you give, like Ms. Rozier says, it's going to be appreciated. No matter what you give, it's going to be appreciated. So you
can't lose with a check.
You can't lose. You really can't.
You can't.
Nowadays you can even scan the checks, and you don't even have to go to the bank.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, but any way you give, giving from the heart for education is what we're asking, and we appreciate you being here, Ms. Dolores, and sharing with us all the great stuff that's going on with the students and their parents and the engagement. It looks like it's wonderful. I'm going to put this flyer back on the screen again. It's the shoe donation drive. Drop-offs are December 6th and 13th. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can drop those shoes off at the Conway Rec Center on Mill Pine Road. All shoes, all kinds of shoes, all sizes. It does not matter. Bedroom shoe, flip-flop, sneaker, whatever you have. But you can also, if you'd like to drop off shoes at the school, you can go to 3521 Jennifer Bay Road and drop them off at the school. So we hope that everyone will participate. And again, Ms. Dolores, we appreciate having you here tonight.
Well, and thank you so much. And we appreciate the support of the magazine. And we love you guys. Okay?
Yeah.
We love you all too. Come visit us, Mr. McQueen.
I'm definitely going to do that. You're going to have more resources pouring in there than enough before it's over with. Okay. Yeah.
I believe that. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Rozier.
Okay.
My regards to Brother Keyshawn, and who was your little protege, and the others, all the other children that you were connected with. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes. All right, Brother Edward. It's Giving Tuesday, and not only are we asking, I'm telling you, asking everyone to support education by giving to the Academy of Hope. We're about to give a little something back to the public through Steve Williams, who's going to talk about this wonderful book and an upcoming book signing. So he looks like he's ready and in the wings. Hey, Mr. Steve, how are you doing?
All right. Hello, April. Hello, Brother McQueen.
Yes,
let me apologize because Murphy was having a field day with me. If anything could go wrong, it would go wrong at the wrong time. But I'm back.
Murphy's Law will do it every time.
Yes, it will. Every single time. Every single time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and Brother Steve is going to, he was going to let us know about Mr. John Maschow. No, look, before I met Brother Steve, I didn't know anything about this gentleman, this former slave, and all these accomplishments. And ended up to being a slave builder of 100. A shipbuilder of 100 ships back in the 1800s. I think we need to know a little bit more about that. And we have Brother Steve Williams, who can kind of help us to capture some of the things like the type of skills that are needed, the so-called whaling ships that you mentioned in your book, everything about the historical Georgetown itself. Okay, I mean really historical, and who taught this gentleman that you authored. I mean the gentleman that you authored on taught him shipbuilding. Just also his legacy, by the way. So, Brother Steve, if you can carry us a little bit further on that, I certainly appreciate it. I'm anxious to hear about this brother, and everybody should be. Okay.
I'll be happy to. But before I get started with this book, I enjoy talking and not talking, but listening to Sister Dolores. And it reminded me of a quick story that I have. A few days ago, I went to the laundromat here in Georgetown to dry some clothing. And while I was there, I noticed that there was a table and a rack with clothes that's obviously was left or been discarded.
Right.
And so I asked the proprietor of the laundromat, how long has he been doing that? He said, oh, those clothes and those socks and this book has been there for at least 3 weeks. So I was glad because I looked at the book and the book said, it's a thick book, about 400 pages. It said, A Dictionary of Cultural Literacy. And I also said to myself, if you want to hide knowledge from people, put it in a book.
Yeah.
That book was there for 3 weeks at least, according to him. And I'm curious if it was any other community, would it have lasted that long? Because a book is knowledge and knowledge is power. Now, my latest book is entitled, as you guys shown, From Slavery to Shipwright, the story of John Mashol, and that is spelled Mashol, as in show. And how I discovered the book was quite accidental. It was by divine intervention, because I was going through some of my father's papers about 2 or 3 months ago. My father was a historian, and he passed away in 1996. And I was researching another project, and I noticed a big manila envelope, and it was from New Bedford, Massachusetts. And it was addressed to my father, Reverend Herbert L. Williams. I opened up the envelope and I discovered that they were asking him, could he help them with the address or the street of where John Mashol lived. Now, let me tell you that John Mashol was born in 1805 on a plantation, enslaved, but as Brother Edward said, somehow, before he died, he became a hero by building over 100 ship vessels. But let me back up. John Mashol, mother was black, but as we all know, sometimes his father was white. And that's okay, because today we call it mixed race. Back then it was known as mulattoes. But a funny thing happened to John. Although he was black, his father was a prosperous rice planter. Georgetown is known for its rice plants. As a matter of fact, in the mid-1800s, it was one of the wealthy, if not the wealthiest city in America. And the planters, I'm sorry, not the city, the planters were some of the wealthy people. Well, for some inexplicable reason, John Mashol's father, from the time he was born, continued to ask him, John, what do you want to be if you were freed? And each time John firmly, adamantly said, I want to be a ship carpenter. Well, his father knew that that was a long shot, so he offered him several other occupations. Mind you now, he's still enslaved somewhere here in Georgetown on a plantation. But at some point, his father realized that this young man is serious about becoming a ship carpenter. So what did he do? First of all, he treated him like his son. That alone was odd, because I don't have to tell you, the average slave owner did not treat their enslaved people like they were part of their family. But he loved his son, and he treated him like a son. And when he was 10 years old, he freed him and sent him to New Bedford, Massachusetts, to apprentice with a friend that he knew. And that's when John's life and the town and the city of New Bedford changed. No one could have predicted what happened. John Machell was a quick learner. He was not formally educated, but he was highly intelligent and a quick learner. And he learned everything he could about building ships within 3 years. And because everyone knew he was bright and brilliant and a master craftsman, they decided to allow him to build this ship. Now, let me back up. For those who do not know, in the 1800s, we didn't have electricity the way we have today. We lit our homes, our streets, our machines, our businesses with whale oil. New Bedford, Massachusetts was the center, the hub of whale oil, worldwide center in the mid-1800s. This was an unexpected boom. And John Machell was sent to New Bedford at the right time, because he built his first ship, which was a schooner, and then several more. And then he gradually raised to building whalers. But he was known as the best craftsman in New England at the time by building these ships. His ships was called the best boats or the best ships in the water. Not only that, now he built his first ship, I think he was barely in his 30s. Not only that, he started his own shipping company, a corporation. And before he died, he built over 100 ships and made a fortune from it. And so when I found this out, now my daddy is gone, but I said, I've got to tell this story. And you know what, Sister April and Brother Edwards, I made a presentation with this same book to the school district here, because I feel that this book should be in every school library. It's already in the public libraries in almost every store. But our kids need to know that we did so much more than labor, than picking cotton or rice. And I want people to know that what are the odds of a man born in slavery growing up to do something extraordinary like that? What it says to me is that we are equal to the task, because we were not even considered human. But this man proved that once given the freedom, he was just as good as any other man. Okay, even without a formal education. And he wasn't a Superman. He wasn't something extraordinary. If you cut him, he would bleed. But there's a philosopher, Goethe, a German philosopher that I love to quote. The philosopher Goethe said, look at a man the way he is, and he only becomes worse, but you see him as if he were what he could be, and he becomes what he should be. So when we're looking at our people, our children, we need to know that we can be anything we want to be if we set our mind to it, because God has no respect of a person. John Machell is the name of the book. It is doing very well. It's a children's book, chock full of pictures, very colorful. But more than that, it talks about the whaling industry. I did not know much about whales or anything about that until I started researching it. 30% of the whalers were Black. All right. And there's a whole history that goes with that, because they were chosen to work on these whale voyages. Now, mind you, the whale voyages, the average whale voyage was 3 to 4 years. And so they stayed on these ships. But in the 1800s, they couldn't get off the ships, because if they did, they would be jailed or put back into enslavement. So they did quite well. Not only were they whalers, many of them were captains. And all of this history can be found in the books, but very few, if anybody, knew of John Marshall before this book came out. And I pride myself in telling unknown or little known stories about Black heroes in Georgetown. As a matter of fact, when I talked to the superintendent, I made a list of 40 people that over the last 20 years, Black people who have done remarkable things, and I've championed them. I don't know any other author, local or regional or national, that's doing that. But I love doing it, and I do not do it for the money. But John Marshall was a hero in many ways, and I think our children and every child should know what he accomplished.
I'd say this, Steve, that I read the book, and I think the graphics tell all, man. I think any young person, most of the time, very young people, they lean toward the graphics more so than having to read what's in the book. These graphics are very, very good. A huge amount of them are there. And as you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, so they say. Do some of the graphics, and we can't show all, but the one that April just put up was one of the ones that I thought was very telling about the accomplishments and the type of people who were doing these kind of things with the ship. This is a whaling ship, right? Is that correct?
It is a whaling ship, but
yeah.
It's not one from the 1800s. This looks like the early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
I included it in the book because, first of all, John Marshall being the master craftsman, everybody wanted him to build their ships in New Bedford. In fact, many of them waited for him. And because, again, he was the best. But these were wealthy, affluent people who could afford to have a ship built. And the money was obviously divided with the investors and the merchants and the shipbuilders. But there was enough money to go around. Here again, we're talking whale oil, which did everything, like machines and everything. So that picture, you can see the black whale is there, but you'll also see probably the guy who owns the ships. Definitely, that's a Benjamin at the top. Again, children like pictures. They like short paragraphs.
And this book is full of them, man. Full of photos. And you know, kudos to you, man. I don't know, you did your research to find all these photos, historical photos. It's really, really historical. Okay.
And the ships, the 5 ships. Now he built 100, but there are 5 ships that I put in the book. And let me just say this: when I say built ship, these people came back with unheard of cargo and made fortune. Like I said, this is big money. So one of his ships was signed off by President Abraham Lincoln, the Gyra Swift boat or ship. So many of his others. Now, if the ship came back with very little cargo, you know, the investment wouldn't be the same. But they were very successful. And if you built 100 ships, and he knew everything about ships, from the type of wood, which was like 5 or 6 different types. He knew all about it. Again, he was a master craftsman.
I've got to ask one question. I wonder if everyone concurs with what I'm about to say. Do you think that this is one of the books, or this kind of book is the kind that it would be in the category of what they call CRTs and will not have it in the schools? Even though you said you were focusing on school the other day, is this one of the books that they're trying to keep out, you think?
I don't know. And that's a good question. Because just like the previous speaker, we have to, and I've said this many times before, we have to educate our own children. Yeah. We don't even have to wait for a book like this to be in a library. Long before our children get to school, they can be exposed to this. The Jewish community do not wait to tell their children about the Holocaust in school. They start that at a very early age. Yeah. No government can stop now. They can't. Back in enslavement, they could, but no person, I don't care what the administration is, can stop knowledge from getting out. It's like a branch growing through cement. It's going to come out. What's done in the dark is going to come out. So we need not worry about whether now. let me be thankful because it's in the bookstores all over Georgetown. It's in the libraries all over Georgetown. It's in the museums all over Georgetown. And my other books have gotten into the schools in Georgetown, but it was a different superintendent then. But I still say this, that our parents or grandparents should do that. Now, this is Giving Tuesday, and there's several boycotts going on around the country. And the idea behind the boycott is to keep money in your own community and support your own. Hello? So what we need to do is we need to, and I don't get rich off of this. Lord knows I don't. Not even a little bit. But I love children. And I've worked with many organizations, from Teach My People to Freedom Readers to the summer camps, academies, all of them. And sometimes I donate these books. Why? Because I want our children to know what we've done. They're not going to get this in school.
And these are hard copy books. I mean, they're not cheap.
Not at all. Not at all.
These are hard copy books, and yeah, kudos to you down there. Get a slap on the back. Mr. Machow, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, had some help eventually when they were whaling, according to the book. I read these excerpts in the book. And this new slave came up and invented something to assist them with, while they were whaling, the harpoon itself, made sure that the harpoon was made in such a way that it stopped the whale from slipping off of the harpoons. His name is Lewis Temple. Lewis Temple. Could you tell us a little bit about that, or is that to the extent that was in the book?
I'll be happy to. That's why I included him in the book and his harpoon. Yeah. Lewis Temple similarly was born enslaved, but he was freed at an early age. I'm not sure how he was freed, but somehow he was freed, or maybe self-freed. I'm not sure how he did it, but he went to Massachusetts, which is one of the abolitionist states where formerly enslaved people settled, including Frederick Douglass. But what he did, now he was a welder. He had a welding shop for all different types of metal. And the whalers that used to come off the boats were complaining to him that the harpoon that they stuck into the whale, and I do not have to tell you how big a whale is. Whales are bigger than 3, 4, 5, 6 city blocks. But they said to him that when the harpoons that they were using was stuck into the whale, see, the harpoons were not there to kill the whale, it was there to subdue the whale. And when you got a feisty whale, he would shake it loose, or it would shake loose. So after telling Brother Lewis Temple this, he decided on his own to make a harpoon that the whale could not shake loose. And at first, like anything else, they didn't believe it. Black man invention, well, it ain't gonna work. But the captains of the ship said, oh, this is definitely superior. And the man did quite well. And even to this day, for those who do harpooning, they use old-fashioned harpooning. They use this, what they call temple toggle. Again, here's a man, it just proves to me that if we are free, we could do and be anything any other man, because God has no respect of person. And I think our kids, they need to know that, especially in this day. Listen, in the mid-'80s, particularly 1846, the whaling industry was the 5th largest industry in this country. And why should not we have been a part of it? Because I remember when Obama was first elected president, and Michelle Obama had the audacity to say that Black people built the White House. Well, they jumped all over her. But we shouldn't be concerned about who doesn't know our history. We need to know our history. We've been builders before, during, and after enslavement, going back to the pyramids. So this is knowledge that we need to have. Why? Because knowledge is power.
So we know that the major outcome of processing the whale once caught was whale oil. The other what are some of the other products that came from the processing of the whale?
Well, machinery, that's pretty much the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. And for those who know something about Andrew Carnegie and Rockefeller and all of those other oil magnates. Before petroleum, there was whale oil, and whale oil was used for sewing machines, bicycles, lamps, umbrellas. They were also built for a women's corset. They were built for so many things. A whale, believe me, first of all, a whale is a mammal. It's not a fish.
Yeah.
But depending on the type of whale, some of the stuff was an aphrodisiac. Some of it was perfume. Some of it was for painting. Whale oil had probably at least 15 to 25 usages. And it's actually in some countries it's still used today. So a whale was a valuable commodity. Almost any part of the whale.
Yeah.
But the major part was whale oil. And in this book, kids could see images of how whale oil was processed.
Yeah.
It was, put in a furnace.
Right.
And, it's very interesting. Now, I didn't know any of this. I can't even swim. So when I learned about it, I said, man, this is incredible. And don't fool yourself. Whaling was a dangerous, dirty job. Very dangerous. If the hurricanes and typhoons and disease didn't get you, like scurvy, the whale sometimes swallowed you because you had to get off the ship and go into whale boats to subdue this whale. I couldn't do that because, the whale would kill them sometimes. So it was dirty. And the crews, they weren't the one making the big money, quite naturally. It was more than any other Black or Native American was given. And they had some semblance of freedom because on the whale ship, there was no law. The captain was the law. I don't care what color the captain is, black, white, or any other color. If you didn't do what the captain did, he had the right to shoot and kill you. I didn't put that in the book because I don't want the kids to get nervous. But it was a beautiful thing if you could do it. But what I like the fact that here's a man born in humble servitude in Georgetown. Now, and I ask you, had he not been freed, what would his fate have been? He would have died just like any other enslaved person on somebody's plantation. They wouldn't even have given him a burial or a grave or a name. John Marshall wouldn't even have a name. Now his daddy would. So, he not only did he make a name for himself, and if you read the newspapers or the magazines when he died, they honored him, saying to be one of the most honorable and having integrity and excellence in everything he did. He had several kids, and he's a hero in New Bedford. You don't have to take my word for it. Just put that name up.
They gave him a description as a naval architect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a naval architect.
All kinds of accolades.
Yeah.
But I want Georgetown to do that. New Bedford has been championing him for I don't know, almost 100 years. But I would like Georgetown and Conway and Williamsburg and Horry County to know what this man did. Well,
after tonight, they may get a touch of it as to what to do. My understanding also from your book was that he died in 1893.
He did. Yes.
So this guy was, and they said that he was close to 88 years old.
Yes, he was.
That's good. I mean, that's, almost more than the average man is today. 88.
Absolutely.
So
as I said in the book, Massachusetts' gain was Georgetown's loss.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean by that. Had he given an opportunity, because they needed oil, we needed oil in Georgetown like any other. How many old movies have you seen when somebody's carrying a lamp? As a matter of fact, this is a Christmas season. You see Ebenezer would come with a lamp, all that was oil. And we lit the streets with oil. This is just another thing that we have never been given credit for. And I don't want to say all the credit, but we should get some of the credit. And our children should know it.
That's really interesting. Nobody ever questioned about the oil that was these people holding up the lamp and they had to take the little match and then light it. You would think that kerosene, but wait, kerosene wasn't.
No, that came later. Yes, that came later.
So it beckons the question. What were they using? So and it's good that this knowledge comes through as whale oil was it. Okay. It was a very ignitable too. In other words, it had a very high flame capability, right? I mean,
it did. Now there were different degrees of whale oil coming from different types of whale.
okay.
So
Yeah, I need to know that.
The main one was called spermaceti, but they have so many different types of whales. As a matter of fact, I put that in the book as well. You could see several different shapes of whales and all of the byproducts. This is something very educational for kids.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. A couple of friends of mine, one of them, you guys know, I know April knows. I'm sure you know both of them, Zenobia Harper and
Yes.
Marilyn Hemingway, thought it not robbery to offer me a book signing December the 13th. And it's going to be more than just me selling the book. It's going to be arts and crafts. Zenobia is also a craft person, a very talented artist. And she's figured out a way for children to build little ships. Now, don't ask me how, but they're going to have an opportunity.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that should be interesting.
Mm.
Right. Plus, they get food. They get a taste. They said not a whole plate, but a taste of grits and something called Russian tea and some other stuff. So,
man, these names, man.
You know, and let them get it. Let them get the book and keep it, and let's read it to them if they can't read or read it themselves. The book is only $15, but again, it's something that every child should have in their library. You know, we don't complain about when a child says, "I want food" or "I want clothing," but we need to make sure that they have books, because books. Well, AI is out there now, but you don't know if any of that is true. When I was telling you about this book I just found in the laundromat, it says a dictionary of cultural literacy. But guess what? The first person I looked in there was Imhotep. It did not have Imhotep. So I'm wondering whose culture are you giving this dictionary to? Yeah. But if you Google Imhotep, it'll say the builder of the first pyramid. It will say long before hippopotamus. Is it hippopotamus? The first founder of medicine. I'm not sure if because they gave the credit to the Greeks.
That's where the Hippocratic oath comes from.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if we don't tell our story, it's not going to be told. You know, and I've been doing this for 40 years.
Wow. Well, somebody, we already have an audience member who's asking where can they purchase the book. Thank you for watching tonight, Mary Skinner Jones. How can you get the book? Well, as with 80 to 90% of my books, you can get it online, particularly Amazon. Just put Steve Williams, and there's several of us, but if you see a handsome man with dark skin, that's probably me. And, because Tiger Woods' caddy was named Steve Williams, but I'm not him. So you can get it online. If you don't live in Georgetown, that would be the quickest. And if you live anywhere near here, you can do that. The other thing is you can write me, and I'll be happy to drop one in the mail for you. Just leave me your address. And of course, my address is 424 Broad Street, 424 Broad Street, Georgetown, South Carolina, 29440. Again, 424 Broad Street, Georgetown, South Carolina, 29440. And my phone number is 864 area code 346-0749. Once again, 864-346-0749. And I'll be happy to drop it in the mail for you. Someone asked if you're going to have any books at the signing. Oh, yeah. It wouldn't be a signing if I didn't have any books. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, Sharon Brumel. That's my classmate, high school classmate. That's wonderful. Yeah, you're right. It would be, that's another opportunity for you to get the book if you don't want to wait for the mail. Yeah, that's great. And Sister April, I want to thank you. This is like the 4th time I've been with you guys. And believe me, I take. Well, you're a columnist. You're in the magazine family. Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, come on board. You guys have been you've been very accommodating and supportive of me, and I can't say that about everybody. I'm not going to go into it, but believe me, a lot of the people who buy my book are not people who look like me. Let me put it that way.
But you guys have always given me an opportunity to do things that others have not.
So we've got to do better in our community when it comes down to that. Ms. Margie McIver says, if any parents listening or watching have children who would be able to go to Georgetown on Saturday, December 13th for the book signing, please contact her. You know, Ms. McIver's always up to something.
They're always up to something, man.
I'm going to send her a complimentary copy of the book because I want them to have it next year for their summer program. That's another one.
She said that earlier. Yeah. She said this book will be a part of our summer read. As they're focusing on entrepreneurship. Drop comments into the chat if you're watching on Facebook or even YouTube, because then you can always refer back to the comments that were made by our audience members, and that will be a way for you to also be in touch with Ms. McIver if you're interested in having your child go to Georgetown. This is a wonderful trip. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that. It would be great.
It's awesome. We just came.
Brother Edwards, do I have time briefly to talk about the person we just lost?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Those of you who read the magazine Edge every month, you know that last month I did a story on a woman named Florine Lennon. Florine Lennon lives in the outskirts of Georgetown. She is well known throughout not just Georgetown, but the entire state of South Carolina. She was known as the diabetes champion, prevention for diabetes. Also one of the beautiful, nicest person you would ever meet. She's been a drum major for well over 50 years. Well, I called Brother Edward he had given me a complimentary book to give to her, and I was about to put it in the mail to send it to her when I called Monday morning, and I said, Florine, this is Steve. And before I can finish my sentence, her oldest daughter said, my mama or Miss Florine died yesterday. And I posted something on Gab News. Already I've gotten, not me, but about 800 people because she was well loved. And I've worked with her for many, many years. She's in several of my books. Florine Lennon was her name, and we will miss her. She was a community champion. All right, now, the other thing I want to tell you is that, I drop books quickly, April, and all of it, not all of it, and most of it is our story. But there's a woman literally 100 years ago in 1925 that thought it not robbery to start a hospital in Georgetown. At the time, Georgetown did not have a hospital. The nearest hospital was in Charleston or Florence. She took it upon herself because she had a big rambling house to open it up. And that hospital lasted from 1925 to 1954. Her name was Florence Williams, no relationship to me. But she did something. She trained young nurses to get their nursing license. Many of them got it from Meharry Medical School and Good Samaritan School in Columbia. She also worked with CCC workers during the Roosevelt administration, Civilian Conservation Corps, with no other place, no other medical facility. She did a whole lot. She gave a lot, and she got some help from the community, black and white. Bernard Baruch, what's the lady from Brook Gardens, Ann Huntington, and black churches and white churches helped her. She was an angel. She was a registered nurse. And we're going to, I say all that to say this, we're going to put a historical marker where her hospital was here in Georgetown.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, wow.
And it's coming this spring, sometime this spring. I'm just waiting on Columbia. I've already filed the petition. And I'm almost finished with her book as well. So
wow. Speaking of historical
keep it coming,
markers,
Steve. Keep it coming.
Yeah, historical markers, and I know we do have to get off the air, but this past Sunday, I believe, the Whittemore Race Pass Historical Society presented an historical marker to True Vine. This is for our audience, people who know what True Vine is. Missionary Baptist Church on Highway 90. I think True Vine is about 131 years old, I believe, something like that.
Oh, wow.
The Galloways are the predominant, administrators there, and Mr. Clarence Galloway did a fantastic job. this was part of their veteran program, and the Whittemore Historical Society, Whittemore Race-Based Historical Society, they presented a plaque, and everything went well. Fantastic. Kudos to all of those, and kudos to the president of Whittemore Historical Race Path, Miss Cheryl Moore Adamson, and the staff that was responsible for that. So
good.
Congratulations to them.
Keep telling our story. Our story is the greatest story that's never been told.
Yeah.
And can you imagine every neighborhood, Georgetown, Conway, Hemingway, just finding our people telling our story. We don't have to wait for a big publisher to tell our story.
Right. No.
You know, because I was an educator for many years and an administrator, and you're not going to get this in school. They'll know more about Rosa Parks and George Washington Carver than anybody in Conway who did something like this person just did. But they should know it.
They should.
There's a question.
I'm sure you got a lot of.
There's a question, Mr. Steve. Is your book available on Kindle?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right. We've had a very informative evening today, as usual, on WCM Live. And thank you so much for author Steve Williams.
Thank you.
For all of your Georgetown background that the Horry County is always welcoming in. There's always been a partnership there in some form or fashion with the two counties and so forth. So that's why we have Georgetown Tech and all those academic and stuff like that. So, but anyway, we're thankful and we're glad. And to our audience, then Ms. McIver, I think Ms. McIver, she likes to show her beautiful face on there. Put her face back up again.
She's gonna get you, Brother Edward. She is going to get you.
Put her face back up there. She likes to show that beautiful face. You know?
Yes,
that's what she likes to show.
Yes, we appreciate all of our viewers. Thank you so much, Sharon Brumel, for tuning in, and Julie Hardwick. Thank you for watching tonight. Burl McQueen, Priscilla Fuller, one of the usuals, Mary Skinner Jones. I could go on and on. Veronica Muhammad, Verdell Beckman, always one of the first ones in the room. Thank you so much, watching all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. We really do appreciate it, and we will continue to do as much as possible to bring you just great stories and authors and information, just like we did tonight. And so if you will, please share this broadcast. It is on the website for the next week, so you can send people to www.wcmagazine.net. They can come to the World Community Magazine's Facebook page or go to our WCM Live YouTube channel to pick up this video as well and share it. So, Brother Steve, before we leave, let's let them know again, just in time for Christmas. Book signing and talk, just in time for Christmas. Yes.
Saturday, December the 13th, between 12 noon and 2 p.m., God willing, there'll be an event. I will be signing books. There'll also be an opportunity for young people to develop a ship. Don't ask me how, but you all know Zenobia Harper. She is an artist, and there'll be some light refreshments. But more importantly, we'll fellowship and tell our story. Again, this is a season of buying and supporting our local artists, our local people, because if we don't support each other, who will?
I think it's a wonderful way to spend a couple of hours on a Saturday. It's from noon to 2 p.m. and it's going to be at the South Carolina Maritime Museum. That's the most appropriate place to have it. So
that's right.
This is it's going to be an awesome book signing. Thank you so much, Steve, for being with us tonight.
You're so welcome, and thank you.
Thanks so much, man. All right. Godspeed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Brother Edward will be back next Tuesday night and with another special guest. So stay tuned. And as always, if you have any topics or special guests that you would like for us to invite to the show, just let us know. Drop us a line and we will do our best to get them on board. And we just hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of the week. Stay warm. The weather is, taking a turn and getting a little icy, little chilly. So everyone stay warm. And at least where I am, I don't know what's going on down in South Carolina, but It's cold up here.
It's getting that way here. It's getting that way.
Okay. All right then. Well, we hope that everyone has a good evening. Take care, and we will see you all next week.
Godspeed.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.